Starfleet Underground. Every week, we'll take a look at the latest Star Trek news and then check out a current or classic episode of Star Trek. It's the season finale, so Call faces his fear. Are the DotBots Battlebots? We'll take back the ship and get another theory on why Oo can hold her breath so long. Osyraa forgets about the quarantine shield, and Burnham and Book ride that Turbolift like you've never seen before. Something's bigger on the inside.
Now, before he beams in, everybody be on your best behavior, okay? Because, just make sure. Oh, lights on. Okay. Good day, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Starfleet Underground. This one, of course, is going to be extremely exciting. We're going to be talking about the season finale of Discovery, which I am just overjoyed. Now, before we get started, if you have kids in the room, please make sure that they leave. And if you're listening by yourself, I'm just going to let you know right now. Stop it. This show will make you deaf and blind. You'll grow hair on your feet and people will call you a hobbit. Get out. Don't listen. You're not supposed to listen. You don't want to be a nasty little hobbit.
So they'll call you Nathan.
Oh, you're going to get it. I'm going to find a way to cycle the air in your room. And even if I die trying. Okay.
You know, some people have hobbit fetishes, just saying.
This is true. However, before we go through with the introductions, we're going to save our guest. Yes, we do have a guest. I would say a surprise guest. I'll put it at that for right now. We're going to introduce the crew. First off, we have our science officer.
Hi, I'm Heather. I'm the science officer, and I swear I will keep an eye on the Tribbles and make sure that they do not hump the guest's leg. I know it happened a lot last time, but this time I got them covered. I have them on leashes.
Well, the little bastard with the spiked hair, I saw a Tribble thong. I didn't know Tribbles could put on a thong. So you better track that one down before he makes it to where the guest is.
Before he starts singing the thong song.
Yes, seriously. So make sure. And that voice you heard, if you don't know it already, is our computer person.
I am Patrick. I'm number one. I'm the computer guy, and I'm also the foreign species liaison.
And then we have the person, again, I am so proud of him because apparently I've been getting requests and
we don't play those.
Engineer. Yeah, exactly.
That's an old DJ joke. We don't play requests. Sorry.
They want our engineer to keep saying they'll trade us 2 engineers for our one ship, even when as far as off of 3. And it's like, nope, he's ours. Our engineer.
Hi, guys. I'm Rocky. I'm the engineer. And apparently I'm worth 3 little engineers.
You're the engineer.
Three Hobbit engineers.
3 Hobbit engineers.
Let's do 3 medium-sized engineers.
Oh, well, I am gaining weight, so I guess that's probably appropriate.
So then that would be three dwarf engineers.
The COVID weight, right? Yeah. The COVID weight, that makes me worth 3 medium-sized engineers.
And now we're going to go to our special guest. You know how we always say this show is sponsored by Section 31, and usually they always come in to remind us of that, and they're help responsible for us getting this ship. Well, apparently they're doing an impromptu inspection. So I'm going to go ahead and let him introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Tyler Pilkinton. I'm a Federation historian, and I'm just here to do a little checkup on the ship, make sure everything's running smoothly.
And report back to Osyraa.
Yeah, he's a spy.
No, he's not going to be Osyraa. He's actually a pleasant gentleman. I met him when he came in through the guest area. And thank you, Heather, because I saw as soon as I was getting there, fast approaching from the other corridor were the horny Tribbles. You managed to bat them away before they got to Tyler. So
I'm trying my best. I don't want to run off this guest like we run off most of our guests. I'm really excited to have Tyler on today. And also, too, can you tell people a little bit more about your YouTube channel and where they could find you?
Absolutely. So my YouTube channel, you guys kind of caught me at a weird time because I'm actually thinking about changing the name. But as of now, it's called Animator Kid. You can find it on YouTube, Animator Kid, youtube.com/The Animator Kid. I make Star Trek video essays and short films and various other things. And I have other work on my website. This sounds like stuff that I would be plugging at the end, but I'll go ahead and just say
you can plug them at the end too.
Plug them in the front, plug them in the end, wherever you want to plug it. It's all good.
It's all about plugging.
I'll plug it right here.
As long as you're gentle.
Yeah, and Patrick likes it when you plug it from behind, so you're good no matter what you go.
I'll do both then.
So
You can do a double plug. I don't care.
OrangeRiverProductions.com is where the most centralized place that you can find my production work.
Oh,
Nice.
very cool. Outstanding. And from perusing, you do marvelous work. Your stuff is very
Thank you.
entertaining and informative,
Thank you very much.
which makes it extremely pleasant. So that makes it awesome. Thank you for being here, and I hope the ship meets your criteria for Section 31.
Don't open the closet on deck 13. Just stay away from that one.
Yeah.
That's where we got all the
We-
stuff shoved into. You don't want to open.
Just walk
that
away
particular closet.
slowly.
Yeah.
We prefer not to be in closets here.
It took a while for us to get this stuff in there. Now, I do have a question before we get to the news segment. I tried to replicate you guys' really cool all black uniform, and it locked out. It won't do it. And you look marvelous in your black two-piece thing with the little badge. Could you get the crew one? Because I think that would look very awesome. Or is it against regulations?
I'll look into that.
Ooh.
I'll look into that. We'll see.
Ooh. Look
Yay.
into it.
Yeah, which
Everybody.
is code for and no.
Yeah, I was going to say, my dad used to say that all the time. It's like, Dad, can you get me a bike? Can your dick reach your ass? No, not yet. And about 10 years later, it was like, Dad, you promised a bike. Can you get me a bike? Can your dick reach your ass? Yes, Dad, it can. Good. No, go fuck yourself.
You had a nice dad, didn't you?
So, didn't work. It didn't work. Okay, we got any corrections from last week there, Patrick?
I do not see any messages over subspace, so I think we were perfection again.
Outstanding. And how about news? You have any news, Heather?
Yes, sir. So my news this week, and I'm really excited about this. I totally squealed and everything, back and forth, running around. The Tribbles thought I was chasing my tail, so they started chasing their tail, and it was really funny to watch. Anyway, So multiple websites have reported that Guinan, Whoopi Goldberg, will be coming back to Picard as a member of the team and not as a guest appearance, as some people have speculated. That mixed with Q's announcement to come back, and I am getting goosebumps. I am seriously getting goosebumps. I am looking forward to this, and I really, really, really hope they go into Guinan and Q's history together, because they never really delved into that. So.
Ooh.
Well, do we know if Q's going to be on Picard, or where is Q coming back to?
We don't know where Q's going to be. We just know Q's going to come back, but we don't know what show he's going to be on.
That is friggin' amazing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool.
Squee!
How about you, Pat? You got any news for us?
Nope. It's a slow news week.
Okay, and Rocky?
Okay, so it is slow news week, but I happen to find this little nugget right here. You guys remember Admiral Cornwell?
Yeah.
No,
Cornhole?
it's not
Cornholio?
Cornholio.
No, it's not that one. It's the other one.
Okay.
Jane Brooke, the actress that plays her, is going to be on a show called BioTrekkie with the Admiral.
Oh.
And they're going to be talking science with and where I scrolled away from the guy's name. Mohammed Noor is going to be doing the show, and he is obviously into the biology type stuff. They're talking real world biology, and it's about a half-hour episode each. So this sounds like a fun little YouTube miniseries that will be debuting starting January 10th, 2021, which means
Tomorrow.
how about that? So if you do a little time travel after this thing releases, it was probably yesterday or the day before that. But anyway, it's on YouTube, so you'll be able to find it anyway, whenever you want. So that's awesome.
Outstanding. This is a real good time to be a Trekker. I swear.
Yeah.
It is most awesome. And of course, I have to ask our guests, you have any news from the Section 31 front?
That's classified, I'm afraid.
How did I know he was going to say that?
He could tell you, but he was never here.
Well, he could say something. Every time we try to bring up something that's classified, the show gets somehow censored on the feed. So, the one thing that I know is,
even though we're on a really tight beam.
The biggest story that I saw was Whoopi Goldberg coming back. I actually didn't know that she was going to be a regular cast member. That's really interesting, as opposed to just a guest star.
Yes,
so I'm definitely looking forward to that.
I would love to see her and Q do a face-off, because when she first saw Q in that episode, he was like, you don't realize this imp on your ship. And she had her hands done like Kung Fu claw grip.
Yes.
That she could do something to him.
It was about to go down.
Yeah, we never saw something that she was getting ready to do or what. And it's obvious she had some sort of ability, because Q actually was taken aback for a minute. It's like, if you know what she is, you wouldn't have her on your ship.
As opposed to being taken in front.
Yeah. Well, unlike you, which like to be taken in the back. But it's just going to be, yeah, I can't wait.
Me too.
The news that I have is that we're going to be talking about the season finale, but guess what? Star Trek Discovery is already filming season 4. And because they're already filming season 4, it means that we're going to get another season of Discovery before Strange New Worlds, before Picard, another season of Picard, before Section 31. So they actually found a formula, and they found a method to be able to film fast and safely. So that's very encouraging. So that is, I guess, it for our news. So then our next thing we're going to be talking about, of course, is, oh my God, the season finale is just everything. And we get a chance to hear Heather say, I told you so's, which is going to be really friggin' awesome. She gets, it's nice to hear when Heather's right. It's awesome. And nobody make fun of her, because my grandmother used to say, sad is a dog that can't wag his own tail. So let her revel in this fact.
So you're calling her a dog?
No, I'm not calling her a dog. I'm calling you a dog.
Well, I like dogs, so I actually would be okay with that.
Dogs are loyal.
Dogs are freaking awesome. I love dogs, so I wouldn't be offended by that.
She is not a dog in the forest extent there, Patrick.
Hey, you're the one who said it. I was just clarifying.
Before you leave, Tyler, I'm going to ask you if it's possible for me to disengage the safety locks in his quarters. I keep trying to vent the air in his room, and I can't do it. So just a little bit, just enough to make him blue. So
that's because I have an emergency medical force field around my room.
Oh.
Yeah, figures just from all the weird guests you have in there. We're going to start the talk on this show. Heather, you're up.
Hi, Captain. So this week's episode is Star Trek Discovery, Season 3, Episode 13, That Hope Is You, Part 2. We finally get the Part 2. That was driving me crazy all season. But it is finally the Part 2 now. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the very first episode of this season was Part 1, and the very last episode is Part 2.
Yeah, I was like, finally, Part 2.
Right? Now, this aired Thursday, January 7th, 2021. We're going to talk about the teaser. Surprisingly helpful. Storyline B. The Kelpian ship is falling apart, and the Doctor and Saru are dying from radiation. They're running out of time. Su'Kal's outburst causes a breach in the ship, so everyone is walking on eggshells not to upset him again. They need to turn off this holodeck, but first they must figure out how. It's a huge surprise when Adira arrives with the radiation medicine, and the Doctor and Saru realize that, oh my God, they can see gray for the first time. Big hugs! Then we move on to storyline A. Starfleet is in a firefight with the Emerald Chain, but that doesn't stop Osyraa from slapping Michael for ejecting Stamets off of Discovery. They can't operate the spore drive, but that's okay because they're going to torture Book for the location of all that dilithium. Osyraa receives word that the Starfleet crew are trying to take back her ship, so she closes off all of the levels, turns off life support, and sucks all of the oxygen out, letting them suffocate to death. Then Navarre shows up, and Osyraa just can't catch a break. She prepares to go on a killing rampage when Michael stops her. She can talk to the Admiral and convince him to let them go. This way, Osyraa won't murder a ton of people. Everyone agrees, and Discovery gets away.
That was a lot.
I tried to cut it down too.
That all happened though. That was all happening.
It was a long teaser, yeah.
It really was, and it was exciting. I haven't seen a two-parter this exciting, I think, since the cliffhanger they had on Voyager when all of them got left on the planet. Because when the Voyager takes off from the planet and the crew is there, you're like, how in the hell are they going to get off the planet with no Federation to help them, with the ship taken over by the Kazon? It's just what they're going to do. It was a really good opening on that.
When they got to see Gray when everyone else got to see Gray for the first time, my heart just melted.
I loved that they did that. That was just a special little moment that only a holodeck can bring you. I mean, of course, it's going to look at Adira and go, oh, well, there's two life forms here. We're representing two images for every life form, an image for every life form. Boom, here you are. And it's screen accurate except for the blue hair and the ears.
That was really, really cool. I'm really glad they did that. I was not expecting that. That was a total surprise. No. And now that they've done that, I'm like, oh my God, the possibilities. Because my mind immediately goes to the Doctor from Voyager.
Right, a holo character.
Yeah, they had the hologram on the whole ship so he could walk around on the ship by the end of it. So are they going to do the same thing?
And they wind up having the holo emitter, which allowed him actually to beam down on planets and everything else. That scene, when they could see him, felt so genuine and so touching that it really pulled at your heart. And when he was like, the look on his face when they could hug him, and I was like, oh my God, it's like, you can see me. It's like, wow, that was good.
Well, I think every human being knows what a strong feeling it is just to be seen. And if you are not seen, how devastating that is. So I guess in that way, they sort of put that into that character to resonate with other people.
Yeah, it was done well. I will say. So it was a good teaser.
And I love Adira's character in the Holo.
Did you guys recognize the alien?
Yeah, she was the queen from...
Zahian.
Yes.
Yeah.
The same as Queen Poe.
Mm-hmm. I think they should keep Adira's makeup like that. The holo program stained her, and now she's permanently Zahian.
That's a good makeup job. I think that's a good one for cosplay because everyone can get really creative with their makeup and do that kind of thing.
Yeah. Now, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, if you're listening to this and you don't know what we're talking about, watch the Star Trek Short Trek Runaway, because I think that's that and what was it? The very last episode of Discovery are the only time we see Queen Poe.
And we also realize this, how much her people are going to be
instrumental.
Thank you for the lithium. So it's going to be really cool.
Okay, so how about Osyraa and what she's getting out of that battle she put herself into? She's got the Viridian about the increased fire on the shields outside, and she's got Burnham on the bridge, and she's slapping her. What's up with Osyraa? She's just got the worst attitude.
Yeah, she's pissed off. Her plan didn't come together. She thought she would be able to get one big Federation thing. Her and the Emerald Chain is one big happy family, and her pulling the strings because she's the puppet master, and it blew up in her face.
Yeah, now she's on improv mode, and she's about to pesticide everybody. What the hell?
And she was extremely pissed. And what the fuck type of pesticide you got? It's going to go through shields and ships and everything. Yeah. That's not a pesticide. That's like a hazard.
It's causing an environmental disaster is what she's trying to do. It's like, oh, we're going to go spill the oil over here, so they pay attention to that. I'll just slip on out over this way.
Yeah, biohazard.
Just call me Valdez.
All right. What about you, Tyler? What do you think about the teaser?
Yeah, it was a strong opening for sure. I like that this whole episode had, I think it was a 60-minute runtime, like one of the longest episodes of Discovery. They used it to just pack quite a bit in there. So I was really happy with that.
We even got to see the DotBots become Battlebots.
Yeah.
I love the little snippet of firefight going on that we got to see there, too. That was great.
3 little bots into one giant bot.
Yeah,
they should have formed a megabot and then totally taken over. That'd be cool.
Oh, my God. I would totally. We have to see that next season. The bots have to come back. The disco dots have to come back. We have to see a mega giant disco dot. And we all have to see it next season.
It would be a disco ball.
Captain, can we talk to the writers? Can you send like a subspace message to the writers about this?
Yeah, I'll get with Tyler. He's got some sneaky Section 31 dude, I'm sure, to do it. Don't you, Tyler? I know you can't talk about it because if you could tell us about it, and I'm sure that you'll censor that part of the show.
We won't tell anyone.
No, we won't say a word or anything like that.
Nope.
So,
no, not to anybody.
Or do you have that channel locked down for censored by 31? Do you have that locked down so they can't do it, Rocky?
I didn't load it yet.
Oh, okay.
Let me officially load the censored by Section 31 sound effect, and we'll cleverly edit this out.
Censored by Section 31.
So, Tyler, I'm sure you got some doohickey that you can use in order to get them to do this for us, right?
Oh, you know it.
You can tell us about it a little bit.
I can only say so much.
Well, tell us. We'll get it.
No, yeah, the dots.
Censored by Section 31.
Really?
Oh my God.
friggin'
I cannot
amazing.
believe we just heard that.
I know that shows. I think we're going to pass inspection
awesome.
if he's willing to talk to us. Like,
Hey,
thank you
Tyler,
so much,
we
Tyler.
need to
That's
talk
pretty
about a
cool.
couple other things before you leave. So don't go. I want to talk about like some other secret shit with you.
Absolutely.
Sweet.
Like, where the hell is Giorgio now?
Hey, that's a little much. I don't want to even get in trouble for that because
I mean,
he's a temple
spoilers,
agent
come on.
and Section 31.
Did you guys see the part where Burnham's called up Vance and she's like, let us go. It's okay. Trust me. And then Vance hangs up the phone, slams it down. You got a big slam down gesture to close out the call. I saw that and like, wow,
That was
that's
an angry
aggressive hang up. Yeah.
To talk about the quality of him as an actor because he managed to look pissed and indecisive all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's great. I love him as Vance. Vance is one of my favorite characters this season for sure.
Same.
He is blowing it out of the park with his acting.
Oh, sure. Yeah, I was going to say just like that composure that he has. I mean, you get the sense that he's very dedicated to making sure that the Federation survives. And obviously, like Michael's kind of, one could say, haphazard way of going about things to try and solve the puzzle of the burn, whereas Vance is more about protocol. It's two approaches. And that's kind of a theme that runs throughout the show and the season. Those two approaches to getting things done the Starfleet way,
Mm-hmm.
And we're jumping ahead, but he actually says something about that towards the end, but we'll talk about that towards the end.
That scene that he had when he was pissed, he's like, God damn it. I mean, Michael, you're a pain in my ass, but you come through. Fuck. Damn it.
It's funny because we don't have the hang up thing anymore because we're all on cell phones. You can't just tap the button and you're done. It doesn't feel the same. You slam down on if you're old enough to remember actual phones, you could slam that sucker down and it would feel good. I mean, you hit it so hard the bell would ring. I mean, that was the good old days when you could hang the hell up of a phone. You slam that sucker down.
Well, you actually had something blocky in your hand and then you like put it on another big old blocky thing. Now we have these like little razor thin like cell phones that if I do anything like that, it's going to crack into a million pieces
and die. If you sneeze while you're using it, it flies across the room and bounces off the wall. I mean, come on.
And angry poking the hang up symbol on the phone is just not the same.
It's not the same.
You just get the satisfaction.
So the interface, the gesture interface wins again in Star Trek. I think that's a successful invention.
Yes.
It was really, really cool because as a commanding officer and somebody who's supposed to be in charge, you're not supposed to show anger like that. You're always supposed to show calm, competence, and leadership. Even when you don't know something, you just don't tell your crew and people, I don't know. You always say, well, let's find out or let's work through this together. And for him to lose control like that, he was really like, what the hell?
Well, when you got a big old green hemorrhoid like Osyraa, messing with you, you're going to be mad.
That's for sure. I mean, Discovery is like the most technological ship, even for that future. And Osyraa has it. And Burnham says, let her escape with it. That's a hell of a gamble.
Normally, when they say, it's okay, let me escape with it, I got this. They're like, no, we're not. No, we got this. We're taking care of it right now. We're squashing it like, right now. But they never just let them go like that. So that was kind of a change. I mean, in your standard science fiction action, you're like, oh, we're going to let them go. Okay, quote unquote.
And then Stamets is there and he's like, you got to go get him. And he's like, no, I thought he was going to have a conniption. I mean,
oh my God.
Unfortunately, they escorted him out. It's like, hey, no, don't let go of me. They just got to drag him out.
Oh my God. He's like, no. Yeah, he was. Ooh.
Well, seeing the look on his face when Vance said, Michael did the right thing is like, excuse me? Like he looked. Yes.
And he's like, I know the sacrifice you're going to be making. And I'm surprised that he didn't just like, well, fuck your sacrifice.
It was women on the verge of a nervous breakdown for sure.
Yeah, really.
Stamets was showing a little bit of anger right there.
Seriously, he was like, my husband and child is in that fucking. You're sentencing them to die, and he's like, fuck the greater good. I want my family back.
Yeah.
And there's coffee in that nebula too.
Yes,
That's what I heard.
Lithium.
I haven't had an espresso in ages.
my
you
gosh.
should have a dilithium espresso. Oh boy.
So that was really good.
Okay, so moving on. Act 1, Coded Messages. Storyline B. Saru tries to reach Sukal through his stomach, and during dinner, Saru tells Sukal that he is Kelpian and that his mother created this world to protect him, but he wasn't meant to stay here forever. Sukal gets upset and leaves. Storyline A. Osyraa and Billy the Kid torture Book in front of Michael. Being the genius that she is, she says what Osyraa wants to hear so she could get close enough to Book to activate a force field, allowing them to escape. Michael sends a ship-wide message via code telling Tilly what to do next. Tilly explains the coded message to the Starfleet crew, and they start working on a bomb.
It was the bomb. Bomb.
I was going to make an Airplane 2 joke. No, not a bomb.
I mean, the way they all trust and they know, it's like, okay, the way she talked code reminds me a little bit of the children of Darmok, because they have history. They know exactly what she meant. Mm-hmm. It's like when Troy was like, Juliet on her balcony, what does that mean to you? If you didn't know the story, you didn't know the story behind it, you wouldn't be able to get it.
Right.
Is a lot of Star Trek history like that? You are a historian, Tyler. Do you have you figured they could use that more?
There's lots of cultures that can communicate in different ways with different contextual applications. So, I mean, I'm actually kind of glad to see that more and surprised that we haven't seen more of it already. So that would be my 2 cents on that. Yeah.
Well, they definitely used some of it this episode. I don't know if they did it the first act. Did they do it the first act? No, it's after, I think, when Book and Burnham break away and they're in the corridor. And
that's later on.
Yeah, that's later on. So we could talk about that because that's where that communication by metaphor comes in right there.
Right.
Did you guys get the reference to Kirk?
What's the Kirk reference?
So the Osyraa says that this is a no-win situation, or maybe it was.
That's right.
Says, I don't believe in those.
Yeah, that was great. I was like, I don't believe in those either.
And that was from Wrath of Khan, is that right?
Mm-hmm. Well, officially, it's the historian should say.
Kobayashi Maru.
Oh, historian?
The
no-win scenario. The no-win scenario of the Kobayashi Maru simulation.
Yeah, it's a classic conundrum because it's not about beating the simulation. It's how you deal with it. It's a psychology test. Test the character.
Yeah. How do you deal with your failure?
Kirk's character was to fucking reprogram it and cheat and win.
Yeah, I was gonna say in the 2009 movie that he just rewired the program.
That was the best part of that movie. I mean, there's a lot of good parts in the reboots of the JJ universe, as it were.
Sure, yeah.
But yeah, it's like, let's fire phasers and do this and take. Was he eating an apple?
Yep.
He was eating an apple.
He was eating an apple, so he was literally eating shit. What?
And he's just
it might have been a real apple. It might have been a real apple. We've got apple shit jokes all over the place now.
I think it might have been a replicated apple because when
he was eating shit.
He had a shit-eating grin.
Yes, that's what it was. Because he beat the simulation. It was wonderful. I tell you guys what, though, I learned a lot more about Orion cardiology in this episode than I have.
6 chamber hearts.
Oh man,
she has 6 valves.
She's just fucking cold, man.
And it flows both ways.
She's like choking the fucker out, and she's like, "I'm genuinely fond of you," but she's choking. She's like Darth Vader, except with actually using her hand. I mean, she is just pure evil green.
Yeah, and she talked about she flows both ways, so there's that as well.
Yeah,
perfect subtext. Yeah.
I don't think she was referring to her sexuality in that.
So she's
statement.
a green unicorn.
So you never know. You never know. But the look on his eye when he's like, "Fuck, Stamets was right." I mean, she was choking the shit out of him. Mm-hmm. It's like that Dave Chappelle sketch with what's his name, Wayne Brady.
Oh, he's choke a bitch.
Like, yeah, does Osyraa have to choke a bitch?
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
He couldn't even run. He's in his fucking wheelchair. He had nowhere to go. She's
just choking the Yeah. She was like very in control of shit right there. That's how she dominates. She literally puts you in a situation where you have no other choice. She eliminates every other choice that you think you have so she can control you.
If she were on Earth in the 20th century, she would be a dominatrix in a dungeon.
Yeah,
She'd probably be a CEO.
Yeah, and a CEO. Making hostile takeovers.
She'd be Nancy Pelosi.
Oh my God.
She would be that woman that I saw that somebody wrote about on Craigslist, where she has men pay her to come to her house to clean it while she dominates them.
Yeah.
What did I just say? She would be a dominatrix. Hello.
Yeah, that's what you said. Yes, but she would definitely be that.
But did you guys notice during the whole time, like she was pretty truthful, just like she was truthful in the meeting with Vance. She was pretty truthful with the scientists. Like, you're only, I only like you because you're useful to me, and you only are in the position you're in because you're useful to me. So
she is not dishonest. She's a completely honest person, but she's a bad person. So dishonesty doesn't really rank in how good of a person she is.
And also too, her actions and her words, it depends on when she does it. If you notice with her nephew, she transported him into the worm cage before she told him all that stuff, Yeah,
and she's like, I'm doing you a kindness. He will trance you and you won't feel it. But that didn't stop him from screaming.
Yeah. But she put him in the cage before she was truthful with him.
But most villains, most evil people don't believe that they're evil.
Yeah.
They think they're doing what's right. So from her perspective, she's probably doing what she thinks is necessary to ensure that, her people are okay. Even though from the greater perspective, she's a total cunt.
Well, there's a country saying about a bird that was flying south for the
I thought you were just going to say there's a country saying about a cunt.
No, it's close. And the bird, a cold wind came and froze the bird's feathers, and it lands down on the field, and it's freezing to death. A bull comes along and it shits on the bird. The bird gets warm because of the shit. It actually gets happy and starts singing. A cat hears it, knocks the shit off the bird and kills it. So the moral of the story is not everyone who shits on you is your enemy, and not everyone who takes shit off you is your friend. So she's a perfect example of that. People mistake her niceness for weakness.
Yeah, that's a really good story.
Yeah, so that's a perfect example. But that was an exciting scene. Did we get to the part where Michael does the okie doke? That's next. That's next section, right?
Well, I like when we're down on the planet and Saru is talking, to Su'Kal and trying to tell him, your mother didn't want you to live here forever. This Starfleet was going to come and take care of you. And he's like, well, we tried, we wanted to come. And he's like, wanting is not the same as doing.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, that was a good point. I think to see Doug Jones in his actor glory.
Yes.
Those two played so well off of each other.
Oh, Su'Kal was amazing. The actor playing Su'Kal.
That was superb. Everything about what was taking place on that planet, like visually and, like the acting from everybody there, it was superb. It was my favorite, I think, part of the past like 3 episodes. Not that what was happening between the other ships was not exciting, because it absolutely was, but like some of the best storytelling I think took place on the Dilithium planet.
Mm-hmm. It was very emotional, like watching Su'Kal come to terms with his part in the bigger picture, and realizing that he has to face his fears. And
well, I love that he's coming around to it. He says, this is my life. I need to understand. I love that he's not closing out himself into this and running away. He's like, no, please tell me what's up, because he doesn't know. He's scared of it. And it's cool that he wants to find out. And I like that Saru's the right guy to tell him, look, you chill out, but it's going to be okay. But things are a little different.
If you don't tell me, I'm going to scream again and cause another burn.
Yeah, nobody wants that.
And it shows you that the Holo were able to educate, but not really nurture.
Yeah.
And to have someone there to actually nurture and understand the nuances of his emotions and what he's going through, and to be that for him, rather than having an old dude there just telling stories and little wisdom, it just didn't fit. It was done really well. I like Tyler said, this was a emotionally satisfying part of Discovery. It really was.
Yeah. I think we're going to have to call the Galactic World Guinness Book of Records points for Su'Kal for having the most massive epic temper tantrum in the galaxy.
No, that's for certain.
Yeah, it's don't upset the kid. You won't like him when he's upset.
Oh my God.
Like when he's upset.
You won't like me when I'm angry. Hulk smash.
And then it is this section where Burnham does enable the quarantining shields in sickbay and sneaks away.
This is the section?
This is the section.
That was, oh my
It's
God,
such an
the
epic
look on
move.
her face. It's like you have superhero bitch versus that bitch. And she's like, you're going to tell. And it's like, I'm not going to do that. But then we're going to torture your empath to death, your little love toy. And the look of pain.
I mean, she's like, your friends are going to be dead too. She's like, everyone's going to suffocate. This is all unpleasant. And you're going to wake up tomorrow and nobody's going to be alive except you. She's really,
That's
really
just
dominating.
Vicious. Yeah, she is. And then Michael looks like she's broken. And it's like, oh, you just don't know her, do you? She's like, okay, don't do it. Let me do it, okay? Let me do it. And that's what happens. You don't do your research. You didn't find out about fucking quarantine shields. It's your fault. You read about everything else, but you didn't read about the quarantine shield. And she whispers in his ear, goes, I'm sorry. And she hits him with adrenaline. And then it slams his shield and Osyraa just loses it.
Yes.
It loses it.
Michael's like, I'm so sorry for your pain. And I'm so sorry because it's going to get so much worse. Damn.
And hits the shield and we got to go.
Yup. And here's some adrenaline and it's going to hurt like a bitch. Let's do this thing.
The only thing that would have made that scene better, I know it wouldn't have fit, was to have that woman from Pulp Fiction to go, that was fucking trippy.
The big needle thing.
Oh my God. The 3189 version of Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Well,
Seriously.
Quentin Tarantino is supposed to direct an
There you
episode, Star
Right.
Trek.
He
So
wants to do it.
I cannot wait.
it'll be
until
Pulp
that
Fiction in
happens.
space.
That
Yep.
should be
And
cool.
she didn't also put guards at the side door.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you got to cover all the exits, even if you're in sick bay. Yeah, Osyraa got suckered on this one. It was great.
She got played.
Yeah, she
Well,
did.
she underestimated them.
Burnham even swiped another one of those badges.
Yeah.
So when they're in the hall, when in the corridor, she's like, "Oh, I got the badge right here," and she could just talk to, make an announcement for everybody until he can hear it. And she does the encoded message in public kind of thing, where she tells Tilly about the 7-card stud and Synthahol, and we got
fireworks.
We got to do the fireworks,
Love that.
and it's a secret code that only Tilly's going to understand because she was there.
Yeah, it's history.
Yeah.
They got firm history. So that is just, that's just freaking awesome. It really was a nice little scene and it was well acted. And to see the connection again with Book and her.
And then
Yeah.
Tilly, of course, Tilly's moment in this, she knows that the dots can't handle this out. I mean, everybody's suffocating and only Owo is the one that's like, guys, I hold my breath all the time.
Yeah.
But Tilly's like, look, we can die here or we can die stopping Osyraa and saving the Federation. So
Owen's like, I hold my breath all the time because Detmer farts like up a storm, man.
That's what it is. That's what it is about Detmer. That's so you don't get it in smell-o-vision. I've always wondered what the thing is with Detmer. She farts. That's got to be what it is.
How do you think her hair is like that? It's just the fart just burned off that side of her head.
It's just
She's always
completely
lifting up that
straight
cheek.
hair and
It's that replicator food, man,
Just doesn't sit right sometimes.
No, lifting up that cheek and it goes just straight up to uniform and takes off part of the hair.
Oh, jeez.
If you thought burritos were bad, just wait until you eat a replicator burrito.
Or a
That
replicator
burns.
apple, for that matter.
Oh, dear.
To know also to see that they care, much as a person cares about their car and give their car a name and a personality, they also cared about the dots.
Oh, yeah.
They're
Well,
like-
I mean, they know that the dots are more than the dots. They're sphere data
Yeah.
running around in those
Sphere
things.
data,
So it's like their buddy on the side. I think that was awesome.
Can I just do a little rant real quick?
Sure.
Okay, sure. Rant
I
away.
was expecting to see more disco dots. I was going into this episode expecting the disco dots to be there more, to have more of a personality, to to be more of a character. What I want for season 2, and they better do this. If you guys are listening, you had better do this. I want the Disco Dot spear data to be just like a character, just like the Doctor was on Voyager. No, he's not a person, but he was just as much of a character as everyone else on that ship. And I want the Disco Dot spear data to be a character.
They've opened the door to it. They've opened it wide open.
They can't close it.
They've got to, they've got to let it out of the box.
They can't stuff that back in the drawer.
The DotBots have got to become more part of the show. And I think what it is it's DotBots are kind of a visual effect, and you've got to, if you're going to do a physical prop, you got to work to make it flow down the corridor. I mean, they got to,
they opened Pandora's box.
They opened the box, and now they've got to fulfill us, because you're right. We needed more dots in this episode too. I agree with you.
I thought they were heavily underused, and to see so many of them just absolutely obliterated.
Yeah, I was expecting less than that. I thought there was going to be like 3 dots and that was it. But there was a lot more than that. There's like bing, bong, and it was like, well, they just kept coming, because how many DotBots do we have on the ship?
Well, if you look at the very opening sequence, you see the DotBots in the opening sequence, and they multiply. So there's rows and rows and rows of DotBots.
Yeah, and I love the idea of distributed networking between the bots, so the intelligence can be distributed throughout them. It's kind of a fun thing.
I thought they should have had at least some sort of Borg shielding when they were shot, but they were being popped like teenage zits.
Oh my God.
I mean, they're just repair bots. They're not battle bots.
We're gonna add that to the second version when we upgrade.
More shields for the bots.
And it's like, oh my God, they went out there and they attacked. They were cannon fodder.
They're good distractions.
Yeah, that was about it.
Yeah.
They were cannon fodder. And it was like, wow. And when they say, like you said, I agree with everyone. And when the Dot said, let's take back the ship, it's like, okay, there's gonna be some mean, nasty robot shit going on. But
yeah, there could have been a little bit more. Yeah.
Like, seriously,
absolutely.
We should have had a mega, what do you call it? A mech bot? A MegaDotBot?
Right.
MegaBot.
yeah.
MegaDotBot?
Oh
Yeah, that'd be funny as hell.
That would have been
weld
funny.
3 of them together and they just come down the corridor and taking things out. That'd be great.
It's like, what is that? What is that coming? It's Dot Prime.
Oh my God, yes. Yes.
Dun, it plays its own music and just goes dun dun dun. Seriously, coming down the corridor.
At least make it to that.
And it's voiced by Leonard Nimoy.
Yeah. Oh my God. Or at least make it like that robot from the black hole that Disney. What was the name of the thing?
Vincent.
Maximilian.
Maximilian. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. With the little because multi-tools and everything else.
Yeah.
Multipass.
Flying a blade at you. It's like, oh my God.
Electric.
It's gonna weld my ass.
Multipass.
That would have been cool.
Okay, next section.
Okay, next section.
Patrick sounds like a little kid for Christmas. I want more. Give me the next section. Next food. More cake.
Act 2, Facing Fears. Storyline B. The Doctor and Adira figure out how Su'Kal caused the burn, and in order to prevent it from happening again, they must get him away from the planet and all of its dilithium. When Su'Kal returns to Saru, he mentions that certain places and NPCs were no longer there due to the ship falling apart. Saru tells him that he is in fact real and the outside world does exist. That's when the monster shows up and Saru explains that he must face his fear and go through that chained door. Storyline A, Michael and Book fight Billy the Kid through a bottomless pit of turbolifts. Michael takes a left at the fork while Book stays on the roller coaster ride. Michael turbolifts her way down to the data core where she faces off with Osyraa. Meanwhile, the Starfleet crew are starting to pass out as they try to deliver their bomb. They give the bomb to Joanne since she's the only one who can finish this mission. Joanne plants the bomb just in the nick of time right before she faints, and then the bomb goes off.
That whole scene with them first off, when they first got there, I didn't realize they were on the Turbolift. I was like, what the fuck is that they're on? I just didn't understand what it was.
Okay.
And it's like, are they with data core? What the fuck is all these things flying by?
My
then
God.
It hit me.
Okay, so if anybody got triggered from being an old school Trekkie fan, this scene would do it, right?
Yeah.
The whole battle sequence with the Turbolift.
Scale.
Okay, so at first I'm loving it. It's like, okay, they fight their way into the Turbolift and she can't hack it. There's no way she can override it in time. Okay, we got to go to plan B. What's plan B? Fucking Die Hard. We're going to do the Die Hard thing. thing, right? We're going to climb up the elevator and, everything's going to be wonderful. I loved that they did that. I thought that was fucking awesome and great action movie shit right there. And then the Turbolift moved. And how big is that fucking ship?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
It looked like the doors in Monsters, Inc. I mean, come on, guys. It was a little bit over the top. I know the effects guys love doing this shit, and somebody gave them the green light for it. And we know the inside of Discovery looks like a goddamn roller coaster because we've seen this before, but it still bothers the hell out of me that it doesn't make any sense. We want to see turbolift shafts. We don't want to see a big, ginormous expanse of what are we looking at inside here. It looks really cool, but I don't think we're inside a starship anymore.
No, it's like, where the fuck is all that space inside the ship? And why is it cavernous?
Yeah, it's crazy.
4-dimensional technology.
It's the Discovery is a TARDIS.
This is not a TARDIS. This is not Doctor Who.
Seriously.
It's bigger on the inside.
It's not bigger on the inside. They can't do that.
It is totally a TARDIS.
The sci-fi people and the effects people lost it. I mean, they know they're pissing us off, and I think they're doing it on purpose.
I agree with Patrick. It's totally bigger on the inside.
And when they're on the Turbolift, it doesn't take like 10 minutes to get to where the fuck you're going, because that's why it's called a turbo, because it's supposed to be fast.
Yeah, I mean, they friggin' have orgies in the turbolifts in between scenes because these things take so long to get from point A to point B, right? We've had that discussion before.
But it's like, what the hell? So I have to agree. And it's like, wow, that whole situation with how long it took. But the fight scene was awesome.
Oh, no, it was great fighting. I loved it. Yeah, it was good shit. But still, as a Star Trek fan, we're like, oh, come on, guys. It doesn't feel right.
It would have been better if they were going along and somehow the turbo stopped and they fought on the turbo while it was stopped. And then she kicks the guy off. And then 2 seconds later, she's at where she's going. I would have been even fine with that. But you have all these other turbos things going back. It looked like the inside of Tron.
Yeah, it did. And I'm thinking back to, you guys remember Star Trek 5 when they're climbing the turbolift shaft?
Yeah.
And how many decks does this ship have? And Spock had the maglev boots on, and he's just coming right through that thing. And they got this massive ladder, and it's a beautiful effect. It's like, this looks really cool. And I've been down long hallways where you can't see the end of it, and it feels like you're in a movie set because I know there's an end down there. I just can't see it from here. I mean, I know that feeling, but it still felt like you're in a hallway. But these turbolift shafts are just out of control when they try to visualize them for us. I mean, we look inside and it's like, okay, yeah, it's just a fancy elevator. But when they get outside of the turbolift and start climbing around inside the ship, that's where the disbelief is not suspended correctly for me.
But I am glad that Michael was able to beat this guy's ass.
Oh yeah, no, that was good. I mean, as far as our heroes in the story, and boy, did Zara take a flying leap, and he bounced his ass. I mean, my goodness.
I mean, that's what happens when you insult Grudge.
That's actually in the next section, but yeah.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is. I was just looking down there. Yep, that next section.
Damn it. Okay.
Don't talk about Grudge yet because, next section.
Don't even think about this part. Don't just forget about that part. All of you will try to get Tyler to neuralize you while you're listening, so you'll forget this whole section.
There you go.
But
already on it.
And then we saw the data core. The data core was kind of cool. I like that.
Is that the next section too?
That's into this section. She makes it in there, and Osyraa was waiting for her.
We got to go down to the planet, though, because that's where Adira and Hugh are figuring out that Su'Kal is a polyploid.
Yes.
Meaning that he has 3 sets of chromosomes as opposed to, 2 sets as normal.
He's genetically linked to dilithium through subspace. So that's a massive connection that he's got going right there. And of course, explains the bird. Yeah,
there's that. And the fact that really cool is Kobler's like, can we fix it? Oh, yeah, sure. We get new technology shit. We can fix anything.
Well, I mean, he got mad when he was a child and caused the burn. Can you imagine if he was trying to rub one out, what would happen?
Somebody's warp drive just went way faster than it was supposed to.
Apparently.
You can't have them aboard a ship with dilithium because the ship will just spontaneously accelerate the warp 10 and back.
In my opinion, they should get a warning.
And then fall asleep.
No, they should get a warning because if he's rubbing one out and they think you would hear all of a sudden all the dilithium and go, oh, it's going to blow. Let's evacuate the ship.
It would be singing the Star Trek theme song. Whoa.
That was just as bad as yours. We need to end this little part. We've gone down so much, I think we lost Tyler.
Tyler, are you still there?
I'm cutting in and out.
So what do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, kind of backing up a bit to the Turbolift. I mean, that did bother me as well. I mean, the action, like in a vacuum, so to speak, was really, neat to see and well directed and everything. But
I've got no complaints on the action. It's everything in the background. Yeah. The background is like, what the hell are we looking at?
Now, as the Federation historian, I should remind everyone that technically in 31st century technology does incorporate like space bending, as we saw in Enterprise, future tense, on the inside of the ship. But, honestly, I feel like that would be kind of a cop-out explanation for this.
That's all the whole ship. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah.
Maybe there's some sort of space folding or something that's going on in there, or who knows.
But at that point, why do you need the ship at all? Because why don't you just take the Turbolift there? Because it's obviously traveling the galaxy inside of a spaceship.
Oh, you didn't know there was a Turbolift conduits? So that might have been it. But we finished with this section.
No, wait, there's one more thing I wanted to, I can't remember what exactly Osyraa said, but Michael's like, oh, because your approval means so much to me.
That sarcasm was so hard right there. It's like,
she's just like, fuck you, bitch.
It's like, yeah, I don't care about what you think, and it's obviously goes the same way the other way. So they're definitely good adversaries.
Well, it was at that moment I was seriously wishing that Giorgio was still there.
No, she would have kicked Osyraa's butt.
I still think that if Osyraa and Giorgio got together, it would have turned into something else, and they would have ruled the galaxy together.
It would have been the Love Boat.
Yeah,
we'll be
dominating your ass everywhere. Yeah, I mean, they would just take over and run shit.
Love Shack, baby, Love Shack.
So, are you going to tell us where Giorgio went, Tyler?
If I say classified again, then you're going to...
Come on.
A version of the Mirror Universe.
Censored by Section 31.
Damn.
Are you kidding me? That's where she went? Oh, my God.
Shit, man.
Don't mess with the Guardian.
Wow.
You get sent anywhere.
Mind-blowing.
Tyler, I really appreciate the nuggets of truth that you dropped. And I'm sure our listeners really appreciated that information as well, because that was pretty
mind-blowing.
Incredible.
That's just amazing. You guys are awesome.
That was, everything with the Guardian of Forever. That was also probably like one of my favorite parts of the season was, even though like, some people might say that a callback like that is a little too much. I disagree. Like, I think that was really incredible.
Gratuitous. Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. It was everything. It was just, and the voice melding into I am the Guardian. That was such a great moment.
Cool.
It gave me goosebumps.
It really was. The only thing is that Carl wasn't an acronym. What the fuck it is, Patrick, to translate?
An acronym for something?
No, Carl wasn't an anagram. That's it, for Guardians for Forever. So
Guardians of the Galaxy.
There was no hint. Yeah, there was no hint.
It was just his name was Carl. That was it.
Yeah. So you couldn't even like disco scramble the letters or anything to make it Guardian or anything like that. So that was pretty cool.
Maybe it was a tribute to Carl Sagan.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that.
Hello.
I'll take that. Totally. I always I thought it was spelled with a K, but that works for me.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay, next section.
Okay. Act 3, Kicking Ass and Taking Names. Storyline A, Discovery is knocked out of warp, so Osyraa tucks it away in her massive moving truck of a ship. Book kills Billy the Kid after he insults Her Highness, and then the fight between Osyraa and Michael continue. Osyraa pushes Michael into the sea of microchips, and after a minute or two, Michael shoots her way out, killing Osyraa in the process. Michael immediately does a system reboot using the previous version of Discovery's operating system. As soon as she regains control of the ship, she turns on life support, saving the Discovery crew. Yay! Michael transports all of the enemies off of the ship, and she puts up their shields. Everyone meets on the bridge where Michael is named acting captain. Now, all they have to do is escape from this moving space truck so they can head home. They plan to eject the warp core and jump out of there. Book's DNA may make it possible for him to use the spore drive, and they only have one shot or kaboom.
The fight scene on the Turbolift, because Book was actually getting his ass beat until he made fun of his pussy, and that was it. That was like, you don't make fun of her. She's a queen. And it's like, it was reminiscent.
Don't get in between a man and his pussy.
No, you don't. You don't want to do that. And it was reminiscent of Kirk's. Like, I have had enough of you.
Not even going to throw you off this fucking crazy ass Turbolift. I'm going to bounce your ass across another one going the other direction.
And you realize the cat would do the same thing. A cat would shove something off a shelf to see if it bounced.
That's why the flat Earth thing. I always love that theory. Is we don't live on a flat Earth, because if we did, the cats would have pushed everything off the edge by now. Come on. That's true.
They seriously would have. And he did exactly that. He pushed her off. It's like, did it bounce? Oh, yeah, it did bounce.
Yeah, look at that. Boing. Oh, wow. This is a pretty big ship in here, isn't it?
That left a pretty big splat.
Oh, my God. And the
Turbolifts don't dent very much.
No. Could you imagine somebody was on the Turbolift and go, what the fuck was that?
Did you hear something? No. Okay.
Well, you know what turbolifts are mainly used for, so they probably never noticed because of all the noise they were making.
Because they were having a bang, so they couldn't hear the bang off the ceiling of the Turbolift.
Turbolifts and holodeck.
Otherwise, they would just transport themselves where they want to go. If they want like actual, alone time, they go in a turbolift.
That's right. Why do we need these turbolifts? Because you just take the personal communicator transmitter and just double tap that sucker, and you're wherever you need to go. Turbolifts are obsolete now.
That's why whenever a person goes in a turbolift, you never see them like lean up against the wall or touch the rails. They're always like all standing in the middle with their hands like directly down their sides.
Everybody knows exactly what happens on those walls.
Exactly.
And I imagine security has recordings out of all of them.
God.
Holodeck filter cleanup.
They have to engage, because anytime somebody has an elevated heart rate, the EMH will show up in the turbolift. Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
Look, they're getting it on, and the turbolift, and Linus shows up.
It's like, okay, well, since you're in that position anyway, I might as well perform a proctology exam.
Oh my God.
I saw that video. No.
But now let's talk about the fight between Michael and Osyraa.
Oh,
that
the
was
knee
a
punch.
drag out, knockout fight.
Pounded her in the knee from the side. I'm like, ow! That looked like that hurt.
When she was stabbed. Yeah, when she was shot. No, when she was stabbed
there too. Was that the same leg?
Yeah,
oh my
God.
God.
The same leg.
Really?
That's some nasty girl fights right there.
And that's why she went for it, because she knew that she was limping in that leg and favored that leg. She's like, I'm going to use every trick at my disposal. The only thing I didn't see was an eye gouge. So that I didn't see, but everything else, slamming the walls, steam.
The programmable matter wall that she got shoved into that computer core thing. I was not expecting that. That was some cool sci-fi stuff they did right there.
Yeah, it was.
I really liked seeing her throw up all of those like blue-green glowing microchips.
Yeah, it's like, she did suffer for that. She swallowed some of it. I mean,
That
oh
was
my
some
God.
gnarly effects.
Yeah, it was pretty good stuff.
So now we know that Burnham swallows.
Oh my God. No, she spits. She doesn't swallow. She spits.
I'm just trying to figure out where she hid the phaser when the rifle when she was getting shoved in there. Was that in her hands?
Programmable matter. She was able to program it when it comes out.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Now, also, it shows Osyraa never did her homework to find out if somebody can survive being submersed in programmable matter, or else she wouldn't have been so quick to turn her back.
It looked like it reset just fine, and was like, oh, it's a wall again. Okay, we're fine. It's all good. And that's when she got her.
No, she had a little bit of sixth sense warning, because like, was that a sound? No, it can't be. It's not a sound.
Yeah,
and then
everything's fine.
She gets shot from it.
Yeah.
Was that a fart coming from that wall?
It was like, oh my God. Did that programmable matter just burp because it ate Michael?
Is Detmer in that wall?
It's like, nope, didn't happen. And it was the fight. It was a surprise to see it, because you're thinking to yourself at two parts of your brain. One, is Michael dead? And then you think she can't die because she's a star. But what's going on? Is she going to come out like a robot? What's going on? So it was definitely interesting.
I love what she says after that. When she comes out and after she survives the microchip, she's like, unlike you, I never quit. Like, yeah.
That was some vicious. The dialogue back and forth. I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, she was definitely pissed off.
And then she goes and reboots the system, just swaps out the drive for the older system. Thank goodness they had those handy, nearby, and rebooted that sucker clean and took over the ship, and everything was wonderful again. Except they were trapped inside of a giant Viridian.
but not with what's her name? She made it to the nacelle, and her ability to hold her breath, Joanne. Her ability to hold her breath lasted to that point where she was just nothing left.
Yeah,
I mean,
that was
she
impressive.
made it.
Lady Gaga was on the ship.
She's just
Joanne.
And then she's
you heard the
laying
name of
there.
her album. Remember?
Yeah, her latest one. And then she was there, and she's like passed out almost. And the doc comes like, "You have to get up." And she looks at it like, "I just can't. I'm done." And so that part actually touched me more than Michael being shoved in, because Star Trek is known to kill off kind of tertiary characters.
I
So
know.
I thought it's like, oh my God, is she done?
I really thought they were going to kill off like her and a couple other, characters. And I'm like crying. I'm like, no, don't kill them. I want them to stay alive. You can't kill them.
It was really, really great to see Joanne get kind of a monumental task of monumental importance to carry out, because like other episodes, these characters get like a line, if that,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's true. And I like that they're using more of the bridge crew. That's awesome. They get more parts, and I think we'll see even more of that in the next season. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah, it makes a
so.
strong ensemble cast. It really makes a strong ensemble where you're concentrating on different people and their abilities and everything else. And I thought it was really cool.
Plus, that's a Star Trek tradition. It's a tradition for us to know about the crew, and each episode is focused on a different character. For example, one episode in this season was focused on Adira. So we should have more of those.
Yeah, they focus more on the day crew rather than the night crew. Who knows who bridges this?
Well,
That's a whole other show, the night crew.
Screw the night crew. I mean, those guys are assholes.
Delta ships, yeah.
Delta ships. Like, who knows what's on the Delta ship? We never know what's going on in the Delta ship. We're always there during the daytime. But it was really cool. And to see, again, the intestinal fortitude that Tilly has. And Tilly's like, we're giving our lives for the Federation, for the hope, and I'm good with that. And everyone's like, yeah. So that was good.
And they all went with her. I mean, as a group, I love that that's the one that, they're supporting each other all the way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Even the bot is supporting. I mean, the bot's I think the bot, probably dragged her out a little bit, but yeah, that's a small bot for a person. So, but it was there supporting, even though the bot couldn't necessarily survive because of the magnetic interference. So it went all out too. I thought it was even supporting it, even though it may not have survived.
I agree.
It's that spirit that was there. They had that on their side.
That spirit de corps, that whole thing about teamwork and how how everyone loves each other and will support each other and die for each other. That's a brotherhood. It really is. It's the same thing with the Marine Corps motto. We leave no one behind. Is that everybody goes home. You got to collect the body. You got to bring the person back, and everybody's together on that. It was good. It really was a nice scene on there to see that happens. And then the mini cliffhanger.
You wrap it all up. Okay, what do we got to do? Let's eject the core.
It's like what? Seriously? It's like
we're in that one step. We're gonna have to eject the. There's that one moment in every Star Trek show where it's like we've got to eject the core. It's already we've turned it way past 11. It's time to eject the core. That's it.
Oh my God! And then it turns up to 15 when she's like, "Okay, now Book's gonna jump us out." And Book, you've never done this before. Now let's do this.
By the way, yeah, no, and you could figure this out, but we don't have any time to practice. So
it's like, is this going to work? And he's like, well, in theory, he should be able to.
So let's eject the warp core and blow everything up.
Well, let's do it anyway.
Talk about the leap of faith. Yeah.
Chances are, if you blow up the core, that we're going to die too. Yeah, or we may not. It's like, we could possibly use the mushrooms.
Couldn't they just jump away? Did they have to blow it up?
Yeah, they had to.
Yeah, well, I mean, because if they jumped outside, then the ship would have, the Viridian is still formidable. Yeah, they had to do something about it all. There was no time for this.
They had to. And plus, the Viridian is a symbol of the Emerald Chain's might. That's their biggest, best flagship warship. To hear that ship has been destroyed along with Osyraa would send shockwaves all the way through.
Yeah.
But you did bring up a logical thing, though. You think about it for a second. Now, wait a minute. Why did they have to eject the core when they could have just jumped out of there?
Right, because I was thinking, let's figure out and see if Book actually can do it. And if he can do it, okay, then let's jump in, kill him, and then jump out again. But let's make sure that he can actually do it before we, blow everything up, including ourselves.
Yeah, I wonder if there probably just wasn't enough time left in the episode to do a test. That's probably what it was.
Seriously. Or to try to jump back into a space as confining as the hangar.
Well, they already have the coordinates of where they're at. They just have to go back to the coordinates where they were.
But again, you're dealing with Book, who isn't an expert yet.
Oh, good point. That's a good point.
It's like we don't even know if this is going to work.
I mean, he has to learn how to speak tardigrade that quickly to.
Yeah, he's got to try to talk to them.
He's never met a tardigrade before, right?
No, and his nerves are shot because the adrenaline is still going on.
Exactly, and he's hyped up on the adrenaline, and he's been tortured. He's not in very good mood, right? But
well, I mean, they insulted the Queen,
and the Queen was insulted. Well, so yeah, it's like thank God they didn't insult the Queen while he was trying to jump. My goodness,
I wasn't insulted.
He is probably in there going for my Queen and for Michael. I have to jump this ship. I got to do it because he really loves that cat. And he really. And what is it with cats to that degree? I've never had a cat, but it's the same thing on Alien. The whole damn crew dies looking for that freaking cat or Jonesy. And it's like, just leave it alone. It's got 9 lives. Come on.
Oh, you gotta go save the cat.
You gotta save the cat.
It's if you've had a cat, we had the one moment where we let the cat outside and it's cold and it's getting it's like 9 o'clock at night and like somebody's got to bring the cat in. Like, okay, fine. You didn't let him back in now this whole time. Like, okay, no, you didn't. Okay, well, shoot, I gotta go get the cat. Kitty. So I'm out there 10 o'clock at night, out the door in bathrobe. Kitty, waiting for the stupid cat to come back in. And it was hanging out in the back in the shade the whole time. It was chill.
So how we were just discussing that Discovery was bigger on the inside, that it's a TARDIS. Well, TrekMovie.com is even saying that. They're like, and how Discovery is bigger on the inside.
Yeah, but still. Yeah.
It's a TARDIS, man.
But still, wrong show.
It's a TARDIS.
Wrong show. Anyway, I love the delivery of the line from Burnham. Drop it on my mark.
Yeah,
that hit right there, and I think that's how they ended the act. I love that she's in charge and she's doing it, and let's drop it. We're gonna get rid of the core. We're gonna do this.
Drop it like it's hot. Drop it on my mark.
Is this the scene also where Sakal goes through the door, or is that the next section?
That's basically the last section. Yeah, we're basically there. I think.
Okay.
Should we start then?
Yeah. Do the last section.
Okay.
Hey, drop it on our mark. Sorry.
Drop it on our mark.
Go ahead, Heather.
Mark.
Act 4, Let's Fly. Storyline A. Michael ejects the warp core and they command Book to jump. And they wait. And they wait. And then the bomb goes off, killing everything in its wake, including Osyraa's fleet of ships. Then we go to Storyline B. The chain door opens and Saru and the Doctor convince Su'Kal to face his fears. Su'Kal finally turns off his video game and sees the ship as it is. Su'Kal is forced to watch the last moments of his mother's death, and now the crew knows exactly what event triggered the burn. When Su'Kal turns around, he sees Saru, his first real Kelpian in over 120 years. The ship is then torn apart, and as they wait for death, Discovery appears and saves the day. Yay! They beam the crew back up to the ship, and just as the ship falls apart and crashes below, Discovery then returns to Starfleet, and as we hear Michael tell us the moral of this story, this season started out with disconnection, and by the end, it was all about forming connections. Starfleet gains a new planetary members. They're starting to come up again. Saru will move to Keminar and help Su'Kal build a new life. Sahil, yay, finally becomes a member of Starfleet, and Michael is awarded the captain's chair. Discovery has a new captain. Let's fly.
First off, the phrase "let's fly," I know we're jumping to the end part a little bit, but "let's fly," that actually worked.
Oh, it was great.
So cool.
I think
It was the best
really
way to
worked.
end it. They couldn't have figured another one. That "let's fly" is, and the way she delivered it, and the camera move, and it was perfect.
She is such an amazing actress.
Yeah, that was done well.
So Tyler, as the historian, how do you think "Let's Fly" will go down as with Engage and Hit It?
It's up there. I thought it was pretty natural. I thought a lot that happened in this episode, in this act in particular, felt like natural conclusions of, things that have been building up, not just in this season, but over, arcs throughout the whole show. And I saw some people saying, if there was uncertainty as to whether Discovery would be renewed for a fourth season, that this worked as a series, potential series finale. A lot of threads that were tied up. So that was really neat to see.
Yeah, season 3 is my favorite of Discovery.
Oh,
I think it's my favorite season of all of the Star Trek things. And that's saying a lot because I really enjoyed Lower Decks.
I did too.
To see it end this way actually leaves it open for the next season to be back what people had traditionally loved about Star Trek. It's going to be a new adventure every week because they're going to be traveling to different planets delivering dilithium.
They're going to be exploring new worlds and meeting new people. Yes,
let's go to
and
Laurent.
Michael's the captain. By the way, I told you so.
Let's go to the Laurentian system.
Yeah, they're going to be going all over back and forth. And it was nice to see when Su'Kal had a chance to finally fully understand what had happened and to see his mother again. And then a look on his face when you turned around and saw Saru there. It was like the emotion that hit on his face.
Well, I love the advice that Saru gave him. He's like, even in fear, you can still step forward.
Yeah.
You can't stay stuck in one place forever. You have to keep going no matter how terrifying and scary it might be.
I was really worried that when they were showing the death of his mother over again, that he would have like some PTSD flashbacks type of a thing, and we were going to experience the second burn. I was like, oh my God, I'm just waiting for a second burn to happen.
That usually only happens if you had 2 meat burritos.
I thought if he burns, you're supposed to contact the doctor.
Well, the doctor was there. So.
Yeah, there you go. They had the doctor the whole thing. Yeah, it's okay to be afraid. The Elder used to say that. I thought that was just like, the Elder program was pretty good part of the program, but it wasn't enough for him to make the leap forward the rest of the way. And he needed that external interaction with actual beings to, say it's okay to take the next step and turn all this shit off. It's all right. It's been the entire world you've grown up with, but it's okay to take a next step into the bigger world because it's beautiful and challenging, but it's going to be worth it.
And the fact that they said we're there with you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And to see him say that you are real, in fact, because there was that level of uncertainty that he still had, when they had been even pretending to be hollows anyway for part of the previous couple episodes. Like he's seeing that confirmation on his face was, rewarding and fulfilling for him.
Well, the part that really got me was when Gray. Sorry, I was thinking about his hair. When he was like, he's like, I know what I'm missing now, and Culber was like, we will find a way for you to be seen, truly seen.
Yeah, he said, we've got you.
Sad.
Yeah, it was really nice and touching. And I mean, because to discover you've still got a being there, like, oh, wow. Well, no, now that we know that we can see you, we have a way to do it. They have a way to come back and it's going to be fine.
I saw someone had posted online about how Discovery was completely gay because we've got Hugh and Stamets as a couple, and then we got Adira and Gray, and then they were claiming that Detmer and Owo were a couple, and that Reese and
there is nothing wrong with that word, by the way. That's a happy word. It literally means happy. So it's okay.
And Michael and Tilly are together, and Vance and Saru are together.
You find love when you find it. Come on, man.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what it is. It matters that it's love.
The Tribble is together with Tendy's dog.
I
think
Book and the cat are together.
Well, big time. Oh yeah,
Book
there's a lot of love
totally
right there.
Together.
Oh yeah.
But you even have dogs that have their favorite thing that they love, the stuffed animal they won't go anywhere with, or their blanket and stuff. Everybody has an attachment. So I mean, come on. So what? Who cares? As Joy Behar says, so what? Who cares?
Besides, you know what? After so many freaking TV shows and seasons and series where we see straight upon straight upon straight upon my God fucking goddamn straight, we can have a show where we have a couple, gay people. It's not going to end the world.
There's gay people on Discovery? What? Oh my God.
Oh my God, they're brushing teeth. They're totally brushing teeth.
They're sharing a bathroom together. Oh my God, I can't even.
They're eating apples. What?
But
Is that anything like tossing a salad, eating a shit apple?
There you
Oh,
go.
no.
Don't ask about the salad. Yeah, when you go to the replicator, don't order the salad, okay? Yeah, just saying.
We don't want to wind up getting in front of HR again, not like last time. And okay, the cool thing with see, you made me forget my train of thought. Damn you!
Well, if you can't train your thought, then that's your problem.
So you get with Gray, the look on his face when he realizes it, and the fact that I think Holo realized that if that technology that's over 150 years old found a way to make Gray substantial and real, we could do the same thing.
Yeah, Kelpie and holodecks do wonderful things for beings of another dimension.
Not to mention, that's 150-year-old technology.
It was a Starfleet ship. It was a Starfleet ship.
Well, it was a
So,
Kelpian ship, but they were with the Federation, so they had
Yeah.
Starfleet people on board, but it was a Kelpian ship.
So there is a way to do it. So he's going to probably join the crew next season.
Yeah, I think that's
Guaranteed.
a pretty sweet.
Definitely going to be there next season.
And it's amazing. So if you think you're being haunted, if you think there's a ghost haunting you, just go into a Kelpian holodeck and you can see it. I think that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you can knock boots with a holo.
I
Well, you can
will
do that
have to
too.
take this time to say that my theory on who the monster was wrong. It was not his mother. And Heather's theory on Michael becoming captain was right. So science officer trumps the captain. But it was a really good episode.
I don't know if that's like a good word to use anymore.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
And I was editing last week's episode after this week's events, and we were talking about things. I'm like, oh my God.
I thought Insurrection was a Star Trek movie. Hello.
It was a good movie, though. I thought it was okay movie. I didn't think it was that bad, but people complaining about Insurrection all the time.
But let's talk about engineering. I know if this was you on that ship, the warp core wouldn't have sparked on the way out.
That sucker bounced down like it was a bad pinball game. It should just go straight down, right down the middle. There's a whole tube for it to go right down the middle. So I think
why's it got to be straight down?
Well, I think there was a cushion of air that wasn't there because she was bleeding the atmosphere out. So it didn't have the cushion of air that would right straight down the middle. So I think it was kind of bouncing a little bit. I think that's
why. Spoken like an engineer. Just like an engineer, because it should have, like Pat said, all the other starships, the core just goes straight out like a pencil being thrown into a dartboard.
Also, I think the hallway or the tube for it to go out was a little long. Just
like
saying,
throwing a hot dog down the hallway.
Like the Turbolift apparatus, it was a little bit over the top.
The ship is definitely bigger than the inside. It's definitely bigger than the inside. So.
Totally
time and relative dimension in space.
But why do you need a ship if it's already a TARDIS? I mean,
they figured out the TARDIS technology.
They could have just gotten into the Turbolift and jumped over to where they need to jump to.
The sphere data has made it bigger on the inside.
There you go.
This is going to be a problem for a while, but it's okay because I still love the show. I will suspend my disbelief and enjoy this Star Trek.
And then the thing explodes and they do another cliffhanger. You see the warp core explodes and they go jump to the planet. So you don't know if Discovery get out there. You kind of figured Discovery has to be out there. It's the whole fucking show. But
that would have been a bad ending.
Don't know 100%. Yeah.
Can you imagine the complaints you would have heard if they didn't make it? Oh my God.
Yeah. If only Saru, Culber, and Adira were left.
And they just get radiated by the planet and it's just that kid left over at the end. And then the ship explodes and the holo goes down and that would have been a sucky ending to the whole show.
It would have been. And the ship is disintegrating and it's another little mini cliffhanger because it's like, okay, are they going to get rescued in time? The thing is falling apart all around them.
Another thing they could have tried to do is with the spear data, the disco dots, that AI would it have been able to take over the spore drive and jump them?
Could be.
I don't think so because they're mechanical. They're not.
They
don't have the tardigrade DNA.
I've seen people discuss this. Yeah, I've seen people discuss like the using because I think maybe Stamets mentioned something about it in the first season that even their most advanced supercomputers in the 23rd century were incapable, and even though that would be more advanced 1,000 years later, I think it just has to be something organic, interfacing with it.
Okay.
I mean, it's shrooms. Come on.
Well, that's true.
I've done shrooms before.
This is not a confessional. Go on.
And so at the end of it, when Discovery returns to the Federation headquarters at the very end of the episode, we see several ships lined up on either side to honor them
That
coming
was
home.
nice. Yeah, that was nice.
If you guys notice the visual, it's a reference to the finale of Star Trek Voyager Endgame, in which other Starfleet ships basically did the same thing when Voyager returned home. So
Well,
Yeah,
didn't
that was
you
They
very
got a
notice
nice.
returning home salute, as it were. Yeah.
Didn't you notice that Vance called out to Voyager to to fire on Discovery?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He did. That was earlier. It was a nice scene to see them welcomed home like that. And what was also nice is that when Michael gets summoned, she's thinking, all right, I'm going to get my ass chewed out again. I know that I did a bunch of stuff off book. I know I did a bunch of stuff. Be quiet, Patrick. I did
On
a bunch
book.
of stuff that's not done right.
In
And
book,
she gets
on
there.
book.
And the look when he talks to her, and that little story he had about his daughter was also kind of touching.
Yeah.
And she's like, you have a family? He's like, yeah, they had to leave because this wasn't safe. But she did things her way. And it wasn't my way, but it worked.
I did it my way.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the right way, and then there's the Burnham way. I mean,
Yeah.
but if it works, it works. And this is definitely an instance where it seems to be, especially in this current time and situation that Starfleet is in, they need more captains that are good at making shit happen than they don't.
good at kicking ass.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and Burnham is perfect for that.
And now that
Yes.
she's the captain, can we say we're going to feel the burn?
I guess so. We will feel the Michael Byrne. That's for certain.
Oh,
and then
okay.
Tilly also having the type of personality that she was fine with Michael taking over.
Oh, yeah.
She's like, you're the most experienced. You're good. I don't have an ego. I'm good at this. And she should have just asked her before she went, are you still going to keep me as first officer?
Right?
That would have been cute. How'd you guys like the new uniforms? They stepped up at the end, and they're all wearing the new uniforms.
I'm very annoyed with the new uniforms.
I kinda
am
like the other ones,
very
too.
Annoyed.
Yeah.
Not just the fact of what they look like is once again, they found a way for us to spend money to try to do another cosplay.
I can't afford the ones they have now. How am I going to get another one?
It's like, oh my
Yeah,
God.
and Ray wouldn't like the costumes anyway. He would just fade into them.
Yeah, the costumes kind of remind
Bum,
me
bum, bum.
of Star Trooper.
Starship Troopers.
Oh,
Starship
yeah.
Troopers.
Starship Trooper. They're kind
Okay.
of the same color Starship Trooper. So it's like, okay. So, but yeah, it was nice to see Michael getting promoted and join the small list of people that are captains in Star Trek. So,
Yeah,
or at least
she's
on
our
series.
captain.
Oh, and she's going to be able, I mean, you can see she can lead. I think Sonique was a perfect actress for this because she has that ability to give the command performance. I mean, she was always destined to do this. It was the interesting twist of when you heard about this new Star Trek show that we're going to follow not the captain of the show, but more the first officer's journey. And you're like, huh?
Yeah.
But there's a reason.
Yeah.
And what a great actress to take it all the way through. And now she's going to be captain.
To see her mature.
Yeah, I really like that.
Yep, to see her mature in her journey all the way through. And you saw in the after show that she broke down and cried because she realizes the importance of what that role means to like little girls and people all over the place.
Oh, that's huge. To use a president's word, but no, it's a big
That's
deal.
huge.
The weight of knowing you're playing a Star Trek captain on a show, and it's such a beautiful thing. I think that's wonderful, and that you can get that emotionally caught up in it because the fact is that that's a big deal. I think it's cool, and I think she's a great actress to do it.
Yeah, and she's not taking it for granted. She realizes just how important that character is. So I think it was done really, really well. And it's the same thing with Joanne. When I had a chance to meet and talk to her about her role being on the ship and everything, she also realized just how important it was that she was a part of the bridge crew. So it's inspiration for a lot of people. It was done really well. It was a satisfying season finale, I will have to say. Everything was tied up. A lot of the loose threads were done. You have a couple of the questions, which we know that from the after show that Saru's coming back. So we know he's going to come back in some way or another. And if he does come back, will he be satisfied being the number one, and then Tilly continues on her growth. So it's going to be interesting. Or is he going to be an ambassador attached to the ship? So I don't know. now, but this shows a lot of promise. It was done well. What did you think? Oh, go ahead, Heather.
Oh, one real quick. I would like to talk about the quote that they had at the very end of it from Gene Roddenberry.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Where it said, in a very real sense, we are all aliens on a strange planet. We spend most of our lives trying to reach out and communicate. If during our lifetime we could reach out and really communicate with just two people, we are indeed very fortunate.
I agree. And I'm fortunate to have the crew here.
I love the theming of that throughout this series and throughout this season particularly. There's the leap of faith thing. There's the communication. We got to work together. There's a teamwork thing. But in all, it's all about not isolating. It's about let's be together. Let's be the community. Let's be the community. Let's be people together as opposed to people apart, because it's better to be together than apart. And you can look at the reflections of current political events and, people wanting to build walls and shut the borders down and keep it separated. And everybody's got an opinion on that, but I love the way Star Trek has their angle of it. We can eventually work together and bring it back together and be one happy people.
It was really a satisfying conclusion. I enjoyed it very much. And I say, and I speak for the crew, that we're very honored to have you here, Tyler.
Oh, thank you very much.
Your awesome work on your broadcasts and everything else. It was cool. And I hope that we pass inspection, that you see we're treating the ship right.
Mm-hmm. No, I think you guys are on the good track. So
yay. Yes, thank you. Thank you again for being on.
And check your luggage for Tribbles just in case.
Mm-hmm. And where can people find you again?
The easiest place to find all of my work, most centralized place, is my website, orangeriverproductions.com, and my YouTube channel, which, as I mentioned earlier, is going through sort of a rebranding, but as of right now, you can go to youtube.com/theanimatorkid, ANIM 8 ORKID. And I also just wanted to mention I'm a camera operator and grip and electric based out of Memphis, and so I'm always open for work and any productions coming through here. So
hey, one camera guy to another really quick. They had a lot of moves in the beginning of the show, particularly where they had that spinning camera head thing. Mm-hmm. It called out to me. Did it call out to you?
I mean, I noticed it for sure. I think, a lot of episodes that have same.
They've run that trick a couple times. Yeah. They like using that tool. I just,
they do.
I get a kick out of it. And it wasn't too over the top. In fact, third time when I rewatched it, the third time I saw it, I didn't see it the first time. So I'm like, oh, okay. So it kind of does blend into the story when you pay attention to the story. But they're having a lot of fun with the toys.
They are. Yeah.
And if you need a camera person, you could not do any better than a Section 31 operative, because even if something was to go wrong, nobody will remember. So
that's right.
Going to be pretty awesome.
Because they can flashy thing you.
Yeah, the neuralizer.
Wrong show.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody, for joining us on this review of the last episode of the third season of Discovery. We look forward to talking to you guys next week. We're going to have a surprise. We'll probably put it out on our social media to let you know what we're going to talk about. So this way, if you wanted to prepare, you can. This year, again, Happy New Year. It's going to be exciting. We're looking forward to 2021. And hopefully, we'll be able to meet you guys with this new starship at a convention near you, if they ever get back online again. But reach us out on the social medias, send us emails. All of our contact information is right there. In fact, we're also going to have Tyler's information is there as well if you want to take a look at all of his wonderful work that he's doing. So please, just don't have a great week, but make it so.
Starfleet Underground, beaming into a podcast feed near you. Log on to our website at starfleetunderground.com and send your comments and questions to thecollective@starfleetunderground.com. Follow us on Twitter at StarfleetUnderG, and on Facebook and Instagram, we're Starfleet Underground.